So you've probably seen them, right? Those apps in the App Store that claim they can turn your phone into a metal detector. I mean, it sounds amazing, like something straight out of a spy movie. You could find lost keys, buried treasure, maybe even see what's inside your walls. But is it for real, or is it just a clever gimmick? Well, let's dig in and find out. For this explainer, we're diving into a really fantastic, super in-depth article from n.techfocus RS. They did all the heavy lifting, they went deep into the science behind it all, and we're going to walk through what they discovered. And this really gets to the heart of it. You've got the myth, the idea of finding buried treasure, and then you've got the reality. So which is it? Well, the truth, as it so often does, is somewhere in the middle. And it all comes down to the science of one tiny little sensor in your phone. Okay, so first, let's tackle the myth. The promise is so tempting, right? A powerful detector right there in your pocket, just to download away. But what exactly are these apps claiming they can do? And boom, here's the big reveal right away. The article makes it super clear. Your phone is not a scam, but it's also not a superpower. And the secret is right here in the name. It's not a metal detector. It's a magnetic field disturbance detector. And trust me, that one little change in wording, it explains everything. So if it's not some kind of magic, what's really going on inside your phone? Well, let's get down to the reality of it and meet the piece of hardware that's doing all the work. It's this little guy, the magnetometer. You know, almost every single modern smartphone has one. Its main job, its whole reason for being, is to power your digital compass. It's constantly reading the Earth's magnetic field to figure out which way is north. But these apps, they use it for something a little more clever. And here's what it looks like. It's a real physical chip inside your phone, and it is constantly measuring the magnetic field around you in 3 dimensions. That's the X, Y, and Z axes. It's not guessing, it is taking actual real-time measurements in units called microteslas. Pretty cool, huh? Now, if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this quote from the article. The phone is not detecting metal itself, it is detecting magnetic field disturbances. See, your phone has no clue what metal is. All it knows is one thing. Hey, did the magnetic field around me just change? And if the answer is yes, the app on your screen goes nuts. I love this analogy because it makes it so clear. Think of your phone as a passive listener. It's just sitting there, listening for any changes in the magnetic field that's already all around us. A real professional metal detector, though, that's an active scanner. It shouts out its own electromagnetic pulse and then listens for the echo. That difference between listening and shouting is everything. Okay, so we know it's a passive listener, but what can it actually hear in the real world? Let's put it to the test and see what your phone can actually see. And here it is, the moment that crushes every treasure hunter's dreams. Because your phone only detects magnetic disturbances, it can only see what we call ferromagnetic metals. We're talking about things like iron and steel. But what about gold, silver, copper, aluminum? Your phone is completely blind to them. To your phone's sensor, a gold ring might as well be a piece of wood. It's invisible. And the physics behind this is actually pretty simple. Ferromagnetic metals, like iron, literally bend and distort the Earth's magnetic field, creating a little spike that the sensor can easily read. But non-ferromagnetic metals, all that treasure, they just don't interact with the magnetic field in the same way. So there's literally nothing for the phone to measure. It's a hard limit of the technology itself. And then there's the other big catch. Range. The strength of a magnetic field drops off incredibly fast with distance. So as you can see here, the effective detection range for your phone is tiny. We're talking a few centimeters at best. So the idea of finding a pipe buried deep inside a wall, yeah, that's just not going to happen. You'd have to be practically touching it. And that brings us to, honestly, the most important part of this whole discussion, because the #1 reason people seem to download these apps isn't for finding treasure. It's for DIY projects around the house, and that's when you enter the danger zone. This is the big one, the question that needs a very, very clear answer. We all think it, right? I'm about to hang a picture. Let me just quickly check with my phone to make sure I don't drill into a live wire. So, can you? Is it a good idea? The answer, and the source article is incredibly clear about this, is an absolute 100% emphatic no. Seriously, do not do this. Do not rely on your phone for this. The risk of electric shock, of starting a fire, of causing serious property damage is just way, way too high. This is not a safety tool. And this shows you exactly why it's so unreliable. There are just so many ways it can fail you. For one, if no electricity is flowing through the wire, it creates no magnetic field. Simple as that. Or maybe there's metal rebar in the wall that's confusing the sensor. Even the way the wires are twisted together can cancel out their own signal. And of course, the wire is probably too deep in the wall anyway. It's just a complete recipe for disaster. So what's the right way to do it? Well, you use the right tool for the job. You don't use a smartphone app that's basically guessing based on magnetic noise. You use one of these, a proper, certified non-contact voltage tester, or NCVT. It's specifically designed to detect the electric field from a live wire. It's the only safe choice. Please stop guessing and start measuring. Okay, so after all of that, the science, the limitations, and that really serious safety warning, what's the final verdict here? Is this whole thing just a fun toy, or can it actually be a useful tool? This summary table really lays it all out perfectly. Can it find iron and steel? Yup, it absolutely works for that. Can you use it for treasure hunting? Nope, that's a total myth. The physics just isn't there. For electrical safety? No way. It's flat out dangerous. But for simple household stuff like finding lost screws, actually, yeah, it can be pretty useful. And this is where the app really shines. Did you drop a tiny steel screw in a deep carpet? Your phone is the perfect tool to find it. It's also an amazing educational tool for a physics class, letting you actually see and visualize magnetic fields in real time. So it's not useless, it's just a very, very specific tool. And that brings us to this final thought from the article, which I think just says it all. It's a handy curiosity for the informed user, but never a replacement for professional equipment. You just have to know what it can do, and maybe more importantly, know what it can't. You know, we've really just scratched the surface here. The original article that inspired this whole explainer goes way deeper into the tech, the safety warnings, and even has specific app recommendations. So if you found any of this interesting, you should definitely go give it a read. You can find that full, in-depth breakdown over at in.techfocus.rs. Thanks so much for tuning in, and as always, stay curious.